guest today is a legendary keyboardist from the band Asia and Yes. I'm very pleased to welcome Geoff Downes.
Oh, hi, Roy.
Hi, Geoff. It's a pleasure to speak with you. I'm a big, longtime fan. I want to first, of course, give my condolences to the passing of Mr. Squire, who I imagine this is still a really difficult time for you guys.
Yeah, it's been very tough. I think that we're just coming to terms with what happened. I think that when Chris was diagnosed some months ago with this rare form of leukemia, we were obviously we were all rooting for him and hoping that there would be some chance of him coming through it. But sadly, that was not the case, and we'd already made plans to go ahead with Chris's blessing with Billy Sherwood, and we've all worked with Billy in various bands. I think Alan was in Circle with him, and even myself have worked with Billy on different projects. So yeah, we do know Billy very well, and I think that when he was sort of Chris's appointment, really, when Chris knew that he wouldn't be able to do the tour. I think that there was no question of us saying, well, now Chris is gone, Yes is gone. I think that Yes music is something that is fundamental. It's been there for many years, and 45 to be precise.
What was amazing too was all the support and words from not just people that were prog bands and things like that, but every genre. Actors, everybody was writing things online and talking about it. I mean, it must have been amazing to see.
Well, this shows to me, and I think to the world, how far Chris's tentacles stretched. How much his influence is, and Yes music as well. How much their influence affected people, not just prog rock people.
Yeah.
It moved to a whole different generation of music. Bands like the Foo Fighters. Jazz musicians, all sorts of people. Chris's input, because he'd been on every single Yes album, was so significant that you had all these accolades from people that you thought, well, that's got nothing to do with Yes. But in fact, if you think about it, they were such and still are such a unique band that it kind of traverses a lot of different genres.
Yeah, that was really nice. There is the tour, like you mentioned, with Toto that starts August 7th, so right around the corner. What are you guys going to be playing this time around? You've been doing the full albums the last couple of tours, so are you still doing that, or are you mixing it up a bit?
Well, I think because it's obviously, a double header with another band is a reduced, you get a reduced amount of time. So I don't think the full album thing would be realistic. So we're going to do hopefully a very good, cross section of Yes's music that pays homage not only Chris's legacy but to Yes's legacy as well. And I think with Toto, they're also a terrific bunch of musicians that it will hopefully be a very nice night of music that people will go away and say, well, that was a really, really worth going to see. And that's the sort of the name of the game we're in, really, is entertainment. We want to entertain people. We want people to go home after a show and say, that was awesome, I'd definitely see that again.
Yeah. You guys both had albums recently. They had one out last year, and both were great. Have you worked with the guys from Toto before, ever?
Only remotely. I think that Steve Lucas had played on one of the Asia albums then and now. He did a solo on a track called Days Like These.
Did he really? I love that song. I love that album. That's great.
Yeah. So that was the only real major connection that we've had with Toto. I mean, I worked with Simon Phillips as well, the drummer, who is not there anymore. But I mean, we've had sort of rubbed shoulders with them on a couple of occasions, but. I'm really looking forward to going out there. I think they're a terrific band. They've got some fantastic songs, and I think that it will be, as I say, a great night of music, hopefully, and the people will remember the shows and say, well, that was a great deal.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also the live DVD that just came out called Like It Is.
Yes, which has got well, actually there are two like it is 1 and 2, which is the first one was from Bristol in the UK, and the second one was from Mesa in Arizona, and they have two of the full albums in total in their entirety on each of them. So I think in a lot of ways it's a very kind of fitting tribute to Chris that that we managed to document those live albums. His last tours with the band, and I'm very glad that we did that.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate to see you guys. Just I don't even think it was 6 months ago. One of the last shows he must have done over in here in Florida, and the band sounded awesome. I mean, you guys were great, as good as ever. So.
Yeah, thank you. I think we were, we were pretty sort of match fit by then. I think that it takes a while to get into these things, and we were. I think we were firing on all cylinders then.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't that long before. I think from Florida we went on to Phoenix, funny enough, and did the live album there, and then we went to LA. So yeah, it was towards the end of the tour, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then we went in November. We went to Australia and Japan, and that sadly was the Japanese show was the last show that Chris played with us. So, but obviously, we'll remember that, and hopefully the fans will remember it with the mementos of the live albums.
I also want to talk real quick about the cruise to the Edge, which is really the best name for a cruise, really, ever. November 15th to the 19th, out of Miami. Is this your second one or the third one? How many have you been on?
This is the third one actually, and it's actually a lot of fun. When we did the first one 2 years ago, or nearly 3 years ago actually, but we were very much there was a lot of trepidation about how it was going to be. Watching these bands live on on the roller coaster cruise, but it was actually real nice to have the fans on board, and a lot of bands that we know, some really good prog bands. I think that the fans kind of they don't get the chance to see all those bands coming through their towns or whatever. The opportunity to see them all in one place. And a whole kind of feast of music for 5 days is a great thing, and I'm sure that it will continue for some years to come.
Yeah, well, what I like that they've done on the lineup this year is they've added a lot of newer, younger bands to go alongside with the classic bands, so kind of maybe get some new fans into the prog rock genre, which is nice.
Yeah, I think that was the idea. I think that you've obviously got the classic bands from yesteryear, and you could put all those together. But there's a lot of great new bands coming out that are obviously very influenced by a lot of the earlier bands like Yes and Gentle Giant and all sorts of ELP. A lot of people are influenced by those bands, and I think that. You've got this whole new generation of fans coming through, which I think is very, very healthy to the music scene in general.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How many times do you guys, as Yes, play on a cruise like that? Is it like maybe once or twice?
We generally do 2 shows.
Okay.
We'll do 2 shows. Last time we did, because we were doing the 4 albums, we weren't playing them all in their entirety, but we did 2 and 2 last time.
Oh wow!
So it's kind of nice for the fans. They can, they get to see the band and get to sort of hang out and have a couple of drinks after the show and stuff. So it's kind of nice.
And at this point in your career and being with a band like Yes that's been around for such a long time and had so much success, do you worry so much about the stuff like the record sales or the downloads, or do you enjoy the touring more and just worry about that?
I think the touring has come into a much more significant side of things now. I think that, record sales of albums are generally focused around the time that they're released. And although they become, residual items. They're not. They're much more of a catalogue thing. So, that's all very well, but at the same time, we like to make new music, and we like to, try and push the boundaries as far as we can. And so I think the focus is on probably making new albums and touring, playing some new music, and I think that's also very important.
Let me ask you real quick. What's the any latest with Asia? Are you guys gonna do anything again soon, or what's going on there?
Well, I've been working some new stuff with John Wetton of late, so we've got a few songs in the bag, and I think that we'll probably continue to put those together over a period of time. I mean, I think Asia's still a viable unit. We're still up and running, and when time permits and we can all kind of join together, then we'll be going back out again.
That's exciting. We've been doing something on the site, the Prog Report, where we've been asking musicians like yourselves if there was a song that changed their life or was a major influence on them, and I wanted to see if I could throw that your way and see if you have an answer.
Well, I'd say certainly something like Close to the Edge, was when I heard that, it was just a groundbreaking piece that, I think that, that changed my life, when I heard that in its entirety, one side of an album going through all these different time changes and musical moments. So something like that, I think that, a lot of people will, and certainly Yes fans will cite that as the one instance of the song that, really would make a big impact on them.
Yeah, for sure. And how hard is that as a keyboard player to play every night, and does it still challenge you as a musician?
Oh, yeah, it's a big challenge, because I think that, when they put that together, it was a kind of a collage of ideas that just kind of fell into place. And I think that, there's an enormous amount of thought that went into putting that music together. So yeah, it's a challenge, but I enjoy the challenge and I rise to it.
Well, listen, Geoff, it's a pleasure. I was a big fan. I even tried to be a keyboard player like you for a while when I was younger.
Oh, right. You had lots of keyboards, did you?
I tried. It didn't. Instead, I interviewed the keyboard players. But listen, I'm a big fan, man, and I hope to be on the cruise and see you guys. I'm
brilliant.
Thrilled.
Okay. Fantastic.
Thank you for giving me a few minutes. All right.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks to Geoff for the interview. For upcoming news and information, please check theprogreport.com. Follow us on Facebook, at The Prog Report on Twitter, and download our podcast from iTunes. Thanks.